us is beyond our powers to repay. And so when a serviceman dies, it's a tear in the fabric, a break in the whole, and all we can do is remember. It is, in a way, an odd thing to honor those who died in defense of our country, in defense of us, in wars far away. The imagination plays a trick. We see these soldiers in our mind as old and wise. We see them as something like the founding fathers, grave and gray-haired. But most of them were boys when they died, and they gave up two lives, the one they were living and the one they would have lived. When they died, they gave up their chance to be husbands and fathers and grandfathers. They gave up their chance to be revered old men. They gave up everything for our country, for us. We owe them a debt we can never repay. All we can do is remember them and what they did and why they had to be brave for us.
Say thank you. Hello everybody, it's Memorial Day, Monday, May 27th, 2024. I hope you're all doing good. It's good to see you, Echo. Hi, All First Kingdom, Jenny, good to see you. I always confuse everybody when I say hi, Jenny. They're like, where's Jen? I have planned to do the 11 o'clock prayer also. I don't know if you guys remember, but Sean Stryker shared with me on, let's see, when did we stream? Last week sometime. And he shared with me a few things, and one of them was Reagan's memorial tribute for Memorial Day. So at the end of this stream, I'm going to do a couple more videos and do a prayer. Hopefully it'll land around 11. I didn't realize I was so late. I didn't even know I was late today. I'm so sorry. We are on, let's see. If you didn't know, my name is Deanna, and I'm streaming out of Humboldt County about Humboldt County to Humboldt County and anyone else who cares. And we are going through a study learning the principles of our Constitution. And this is such a great study because it's connecting the dots for us individually, and we can get on the same page, but also with our own experiences and our foundation, which I believe is so important. And I'm so happy that it's so godly. And the reason this book is called The 5,000-Year Leap, excuse me, is because excuse me, there's only been two governments before our government, our Constitution for this country, that were self-governing. So it's kind of a big deal. And people that make light of it and people that don't take their place and take their role, the beginning of it is we got to learn it. We got to even know that we have a place and we have a role. It's not they. It's not Biden, it's not the mayor, it's not the board of supervisors, it's not everybody else that we can blame, it's us. Can we not get 13 people together to assemble our counties? Do you realize how difficult it is to just get 13 people together on the same page on our godly foundation, our laws? It's very difficult. So I need the prayer warriors to keep praying, because that is the goal. That is the goal. So let's go to the study. I'll be reading just a few pages from this book. Well, no, first we're going to do the quiz. And I do have the quiz up for you. I've kind of restructured this whole thing so that it'll be less busy. If you're not familiar with the 28 Principles of Liberty, that this book was written by a doctor. It took him 40 years to compile, to find all the principles in our Constitution and put them under these 28. And they're all throughout our Constitution, but this is a different way that it's been, compiled. It's been compiled for us to understand. And we are on the principle number 13. A constitution should be structured to permanently protect the people from human frailties of their leaders. The other saying that's been going in my mind since I've been studying this since Friday, I got this study prepared on Friday, ultimate power corrupts. The great thing about our Constitution and the Bible together, both of these things, is that it teaches us more of those two documents, books, passages, words, teach us history, more about human nature than you will find anywhere else. Hence, why do you think they are so attacked? It's better if we just don't know, isn't it? It's almost better if we just don't know. But no, that's not true. So let's go to the questions here. This was from the reading that I did on Friday. And so this is the little quiz that we do. This is how this study has been going. We're about a third of the way through, so I was thinking, oh man, we should probably be doing those. There's a big old quiz, but I took it down off of here, but there's a big old quiz. I can't remember how many pages there are of it, or there's certainly 147 questions, and I think we need to start doing these questions too. Exam, oh, that's exam 2. And what's great about these is I do have the answers. Oh, these are just the same questions we've been doing. Okay, I didn't even realize the answers were here. D, girl, you know. Hey, 3 times the charm. Next time I go through this, it's going to be perfect. And I'm not going to be late. Probably. Ever. Again. That's probably a lie. That's probably a bold-faced lie. Nobody could claim that, you know? Okay, here we go. Number 1, the founders wanted our form of government to be a republic, not a democracy. Democracy means majority rules, mobocracy. It can also make it so that there's no protection of rights. The poor outvotes the rich. There's lots of definitions, but majority rules is democracy. 3, an ancient example of a democracy the founders did not want to copy was Greeks. Did I say Greeks? Greeks. 4, in a democracy, people become participants of lawmaking, whether willing or not. You all count. Y'all have a vote. Whether you're studied up on the issues or not, we want to hear what you have to say about it. Just vote. Just vote. We don't even want to hear what you have to say. Just vote. 5, a democracy is not effective in a large region. 6, what right is violated in a democracy when the masses realize they can outvote the rich? Your protection of property. 7, a republic is defined as equal protection elected by representatives of the people, by the people. 8, in 1905, an organization was formed as the Intercollegiate Socialist Society, ISS. 9, when the word socialism got a bad name around the world, the organization changed its name to the League for, what is it again? Inter-something democracy. Where'd it go? Oh, industrial democracy. 10, even the United States began warning people of the dangers of democracy. The U.S. Army Training Manual had a chapter on democracy, relating it to the attitude being communistic. 11, the first president to begin calling the U.S. a democracy was Woodrow Wilson. In World War I, he claimed, "We'll make the world a safe for democracy." And that same president, Woodrow Wilson, began to recruit and place intercollegiate socialist society workers into government, colleges, and also our media, Hollywood. I didn't answer 12. I didn't know where to find 12's answer. The blank provision of the Arizona Constitution is a technical violation of the U.S. Constitution because it lets people make laws by popular vote. I couldn't find that one. But let's see. There it is. 41. Since I just realized I have the answers here. But that doesn't look right. I'm not talking about Montesquieu. That's not right. It must be this 41. No. Well, I don't have the answer for that one. Sorry. I probably have it here somewhere. I was really looking. I watched the video. I don't recall it talking about the Arizona Constitution in here. Let me see if it's not on the back. The last page. I really looked for it. I have no idea. Anybody from Arizona know what this is talking about? I'm not so sure. Okay, we're going to get right into our reading because I do want to pray in 10 minutes at 11 o'clock, 11 minutes. And I have a couple more videos to share since it is Memorial Day. And I certainly think of those who didn't come home. And I think we can do more than just remember them. That's why I'm doing what I do. It is for them. It is for anybody who has a story, who's not being told. I realize that there's not a lot of people that really watch this. At best, maybe 120 to 140 people on Rumble actually watch my streams. More people watch the other streams than they watch these educational streams, and that's fine. But this is, to me, this is my contribution. This is history too. Maybe in the future more people will care about this. Maybe sooner people will care about it. It's for your own brain. It isn't my perspective. It's just history. So I really enjoy doing this. Okay, here we go. Let no more be said of confidence in man, but bind him down from mischief by the chains of the Constitution. We don't have to fight you. We got the law on our side. Godliness is on our side through our law given to us by God. This is protecting our God-given natural rights. That's what the Constitution does. It doesn't give you rights. God gave you rights. They'd like you to think that, you know, Lincoln and the right to vote and the right for slavery, that all came from these later amendments. That's not true. We found that out. Natural law, God's law, is where it's at. And that's what we need to get back to. Okay, 13th principle. A constitution should be structured to permanently protect the people from the human frailties of their rulers. At the Constitutional Convention, the Founding Fathers were concerned with one tantalizing question which no political scientist in any age had yet been able to answer with complete satisfaction. The question was, how can you have an efficient government but still protect the freedom and unalienable rights of the people? Distrust of power, not necessarily disrespect for leaders. The founders had more confidence in the people than they did in the leaders of the people. Let me repeat that. The founders had more confidence in the people than the leaders of the people, especially trusted leaders, even themselves. They felt the greatest danger arises when a leader is so completely trusted that the people feel no anxiety to watch him. Alexander Hamilton wrote, "For it is a truth, which the experience of all ages has attested, that the people are commonly most in danger when the means of injuring their rights are in the possession of those towards whom they entertain the least suspicion." So profound. 200 years of American history have demonstrated the wisdom of the founders in proclaiming a warning against the frailties of human nature and the people's elected or appointed leaders. Every constitutional action has usually been justified because it was for a good cause. Every illegal transfer of power from one department to another has been excused as necessary. The whole explosion of bureaucratic power in Washington has been the result of trusting benign political leaders, most of whom really did have good intentions. Thomas Jefferson struck out with all the force that tongue and pen could muster against trusting in human nature. Said he, "It would be a dangerous delusion were confidence in the men of our choice to silence our fears for the safety of our rights." That confidence is everywhere the parent of despotism. Free government is founded in jealousy and not in confidence. It is jealousy and not confidence which prescribes limited constitutions to bind down those whom we are obliged to trust with power, that our Constitution has accordingly fixed the limits to which and no farther our confidence may go. In question of power, then, let no more be said of confidence in man, all caps, but bind him down from mischief by the chains of the Constitution. Government is a coercive force. George Washington made it very clear why all of this was necessary. The founders looked upon government as a volatile instrument of explosive power, which must necessarily be harnessed within the confines of a strictly interpreted constitution, or it would destroy the very freedom it was designed to preserve. Said he, government is not reason, it is not eloquence, it is force. Like fire, it is a dangerous servant and a fearful master. Leaders are not angels, but fragile human beings. James Madison saw the problem of power in the hands of fallible human beings who by nature contain a complexity of elements reflecting both good and evil. The purpose of a constitution is to define the area in which a public official can serve to his utmost ability, but at the same time provide strict limitations to chain him down from mischief. In every human being, there is a natural tendency to practice Parkinson's law of perpetual expansion and to exercise personal proclivities toward egomania and self-aggrandizement. As we indicated earlier, Madison was very concerned about human frailties in the leaders of the people. He said, it may be a reflection on human nature that such devices as constitutional change should be necessary to control the abuses of government. But what is government itself but the greatest of all reflections on human nature? If angels were to govern men, neither external nor internal controls on government would be necessary. But lacking these, in framing a government which is to be administered by men over men, the great difficulty lies in this, all caps. You must first enable the government to control the governed, and in the next place, oblige it to control itself. That's where the oblige them comes from. Why the original Constitution will never be obsolete, and that is why the Constitution that is what the Constitution is all about, providing freedom from abuse by those in authority. Anyone who says the American Constitution is obsolete just because social and economic conditions have changed does not understand the real genius of the Constitution. It was designed to control something which has, all caps, has not changed and will not change, namely human nature. Danger of losing constitutional rights. Furthermore, the founders knew from experience that the loss of freedom through the gradual erosion of the constitutional principles is not always so obvious that the people can readily detect it. Madison stated, I believe there are more instances in the abridgment of the freedom of the people by gradual and silent encroachments of those in power than by violent and sudden usurpations. This danger ought to be wisely guarded against. When erosion occurs, act quickly. Too late. In 1785, Madison had occurred to issue a vigorous warning to his own state of Virginia. It is proper to take alarm at the, all caps, first experiment on our liberties. We hold this prudent jealousy to be the first duty of citizens and one of the noblest characteristics of the late Revolution. The freemen of America did not wait till usurped power had strengthened itself by exercise and entangled the question in precedents. They saw all the consequences of governmental abuses in the principle, and they avoided the consequence by denying the principle on which the abuses were based. We revere this lesson too much to forget it. Memorial and Remonstrance that's that letter James Madison wrote where separation of church and state was brought up initially when Charles Pinckney proposed a tax so that we could have paid ministers in this country. But where are the encroachments of abusive rulers most likely to attack? Is there some basic right which self-aggrandizing politicians seek to destroy first? The founders said there was. Mankind has so many rights that it is sometimes difficult to keep a watchful eye on all of them. Therefore, the founders said we should especially concentrate on the preservation of one particular right because all other rights are related to it. And that is going to be our next principle. The 14th one, life and liberty are secure only so long as the right of property is secure. And that is our reading for today's lesson, the 13th principle. And it's going to be 11 o'clock, so I want to pray with you guys for our country, for respect and honor, and we can't pray for those that aren't with us anymore, but we can pray for their families. And I have a cousin who's serving right now, so I pray for her all the time. But I do have a couple more videos. I'll end with it after I say a prayer. So, God, thank you for this time with these people, even some that I will never know who they are. Thank you that they tune in to this stream, that they want to know our history. They want to know our Constitution. They want to know our remedies. Please bless each and every one of them. Please protect their families. Please help us be strong. Help us to be your hands and feet. I pray you will help every county in this country unite and assemble under the truth, that we would stop being deceived by infiltrators, fakers, and grifters. Lord, that you would open our eyes to the full truth. God, help us to do the right thing. Help us to honor those who gave all by giving more. Help us to give more for our country. We have a duty and an obligation. And most of all, we have you who will strengthen us when we are weak. You make us strong. Thank you for this country. Thank you for this government we've been given. Help us to take our place. Help us to take our role. Help us to be watching the people, and even more than watching, help us to do what needs to be done. God, only you know what each one of us can be doing. I pray for the people who are not being heard, that are alone, who feel like nobody cares about them. God, please comfort them. Please touch them, heal them emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Help our country return to you. Help us forsake satanic rituals, holidays, TV shows, programs. Help us to see, Lord, and really care. Help us take down these high places where Satan is exalted over you, God. We love you, Jesus. We pray in your name. Amen. Check this out. Oh, hi, Devil Dog. Good to see you. Always so good to see you. What do you got for me? What you got for me? You got something good for me? All right. I really do want to come back and do another stream. I don't know if it'll be today, but I have one rolling around in my head. You know, it's like killer lies and other deceptions, like that. Because I told you that I've organized my my BitChute, so all the lies are there.
Chris Ann Hall is an attorney and former prosecutor who travels the country,
Oh, wow, this is a long one. Okay. That's an old picture of her. That's an old picture of her. We'll play a minute or two of it, but I have some other videos I wanted to play for Memorial Day.
Chris Ann Hall is an attorney and former prosecutor who travels the country teaching the Constitution and the history that gave us our founding documents. Chris Ann will connect the dots for you like no one else can. As host of the Chris Ann Hall Show, she pulls no punches, puts liberty first, and gives no quarter to those who hide behind party labels. Chris Ann will tell you what the founders had to say on today's relevant issues. She is an author of Not a Living, Breathing Document, Reclaiming Our Constitution, and the DVD series The Roots of Liberty for Junior Patriots. She's a multiple award winner for her patriotism. Chris Ann is an incredibly passionate speaker, a true Patrick Henry of our time. She speaks to audiences all across the country on constitutional history, American exceptionalism, and the fight for liberty. Her passion and enthusiasm are contagious. See for yourself as we welcome to the stage Chris Ann Hall.
Hello, everybody. The blessed. Amen. If you don't know how blessed you are, then I don't think I can help you anymore today. How many of you have pocket constitutions with you right now? All right. I want you to get your pocket constitutions out if you have them, and I want you to turn to the Declaration of Independence. We are going to be covering that today. This is something that's going to be very important. Now, what we need to realize is what is the job description?
Because I have some other videos I wanted to share with you, but maybe I will watch that and come back with that and share more of that. I don't know how long that's going to go on, but maybe I should share just one more minute of it. She's talking about job descriptions. I think this is what he wants me to share.
Of our representatives.
We'll do one more minute or so.
Well, the legislators of Virginia in 1799 gave us the best definition that I have ever found of the job description of our representatives. Everybody that we've elected to represent us took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. They are, if they are not going to shrink from their representative responsibilities, they must be the guardians of the state's sovereignty. This is something that we have to really grasp today.
Yeah.
One of the single most important things we will learn today is state sovereignty. If the states are not sovereign, then the entire republic falls apart.
Yes.
This is the entire principle that hinges all these other things together. So, in order to fulfill their oath, I do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States. They must be the guardians of the state's sovereignty. Now, they come and they tell us, look, we understand that this is our job and that we cannot shrink from it, but we also recognize it will not be an easy job to do because, you see, we will have to warn you of federal encroachments because federal encroachments are the enemy to state sovereignty.
True.
Federal encroachments. Everybody knows what that is, right? That's federal dollars with federal dictate, federal regulations. Those are the encroachments. Imagine that. Our states are supposed to warn us against federal encroachments and not compete for them.
Yes. Okay, now I know why he's sharing this with me because I'm always telling him how in my county, this is the best song for today. Okay, I'll find that. In my county, we're always hearing from city manager Miles Slattery. Miles Slattery's always telling, well, the state has our quotas. We got this housing quota we got to do, and he's always talking about that. So let's play this song, and I had a couple more little quick videos. God bless America and our veterans that serve this great country. Amen. You are most welcome, honey. Funny how saying hi D sounds like I'm calling you Heidi. That is funny. Hi D. Heidi. 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 That is funny. Yeah, he's always telling us, oh, our states, you know, the state's got this quota. The state, we have to fulfill our state obligation. No, you fulfill our obligations. You work for us, remember? No, they're so comfortable just telling us how it's going to be. It's just exhausting anymore. But that is the one principle I really do need to get down. And anyone that wants to address the city council in any community, that is what you need to ask them. Show me in the Constitution where it says that you have a right to fulfill states' laws or states' quotas. Something like that. Right, Devil Dog? I know I wrote it down around here somewhere. Oh, I know. I probably wrote it in this little notebook. Let me play this song while I try to find it again.
In the land of the brave where heroes stand tall, fighters of freedom, answering the call. They march with honor, hearts filled with pride. Together we remember their sacrifice won't hide. Through the darkest nights they carried the light, defending our freedom with all of their might. They're the shining stars forever in our hearts. Their bravery echoes, never torn apart. We won't forget the heroes that we lost. United we stand, no matter the cost. In every heartbeat, their memory will shine. The fallen soldiers, forever. Army skies of gray, in shadows they stand, guardians of peace across this great land. Their courage unyielding in battles unseen, they forge our tomorrow and everything in between. In whispers of valor, their tales are retold, a covenant of duty, bravely bold in the silence of night. Their legacy we hold, for in the heart of the nation their story unfolds. We won't forget the heroes.
Don't forget, America.
United we stand,
United we stand.
the cost. In every heartbeat, their memory will shine. The fallen soldiers, forever divine.
It says applause, but it's a really somber day, you know. To me, it just is not. It's weird to hear Happy Memorial Day, you know. Obligation, yes, obligation. Thank you, honey. Yesterday was my birthday. It's true. Turned 53. How about that? Whoop-de-doo-dah day. Not a huge birthday celebrator, but we did have a good time. Went out with some friends after church. Well, really what happened was, it wasn't the greatest day ever because my mama left me for 4 months to go back to Chi-Town to be with her the other daughter, my sister. So we share her. My husband, who has the same birthday as my sister's husband, which is weird. Not the same year, but they have the same date. He sent my brother-in-law a message and said, "Tag, you're it." So I'm like, "Did he get it?" He's like, "Oh yeah, he got it." I'm like, "Okay." Yeah, there was just a couple. I watched a few that just really, man, it's like, try not to cry. Which one did I share? I shared thank you. Yeah. That's right.
We are a nation under God.
Thanks,
And I
honey.
believe God intended for us to be free.
I do
We
too.
must realize that no
I do too.
arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just
don't know where to look.
The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David. Their lives ended in places called Belleauwood, the Argonne, Omaha Beach, Salerno, and halfway around the world on Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Pork Chop Hill, the Chosin Reservoir, and in 100 rice paddies and jungles of a place called Vietnam. They add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom.
That from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. That was Lincoln, his Gettysburg Address. And that was a Memorial Day tribute from Hillsdale College. It was 8 years ago, but I just loved it. I really enjoyed that one. And I don't have any stories of my family. I do have my my grandpa's picture. I meant to get it of him. He's in a Navy uniform. Devil dog. My grandfather had World War I with the Army. My dad had World War II and Korea with the United States Marine Corps. My big brother had Vietnam with the United States Marine Corps. I had Cold War with the United States Marine Corps. So thank you for your service, and you keep serving, and you keep serving, and you keep serving. And I hope to serve to you how best I can as just, a woman in 2024, doing what I can do. I used to call my father a warhead when he ticked me off, but I regret that disrespect I showed him when he was a brave man. We all, you know, said dumb things in our life. But yeah, I hear you. My dad served in Korea as a medic until 1953. God bless all our vets. Awesome. Yeah. You know, you got to forgive yourself too, and that's what grace is for. We got to learn to give grace to people. They say dumb things because we say dumb things. We say dumb things, you know. I had a couple picked out, but I really do like that one. I got two more shorties. Two more shorties.
Extraordinary men and women went before us with unmatched resilience. Enduring hardship, when called upon to defend and liberate, they said yes. They found courage to rise with every sun, loyalty toward their country, discipline for every command. Even in the darkest hours, they said yes. They cherished and fought for freedom, so those coming behind them were assured of it. And when the moment came for them to give it all, their futures never to be written, they said yes. Today we think upon their sacrifice and find our way to honor them, saying yes to making the most of what they gave us and filling the earth with God's goodness. We thank them for their yes. They will never be forgotten.
True that. True that. Two more quickies. Two more quickies. Darn this. I gotta fix this thing. I hope that sounded okay.
Veterans of Call of Duty with bravery and valor. This Memorial Day, we celebrate their courage.
Hi, Grandpa.
Hi, Ellie.
Come on.
Mommy, I drew you a picture. Here's you. Here's Daddy. Sealer stays happy because I gave him extra treats. Just don't tell Daddy. Just so you know, I love you and I miss you. This is Daddy. This is me. And this is Mommy.
You smile, maybe. You never smile for Daddy. There we go. She's gorgeous.
Look at that.
Hey, hey. Oh, there we go.
Never forget. That is some people, families' days today, you know? Okay, last one. Then I'm gonna get out of here. Maybe come back later. You know, I always say that. I always want to. I hope you guys never forget and then do the best with your day today. Be the hands and feet of God. Count your blessings. Look at that uniform. Amazing. Well, that's it. I'm out today, you guys. If you missed it, I did the prayer at 11 o'clock. And show that video you dropped. Okay, the Chris Ann Hall one. All right. You should be here too. I love you guys. See you in the next one. Peace.